I'm in my bed, I'm in my blanket, so let's talk about it. Um, I'm 31, I'm single. I'm 31, I'm single. Like, that's where we're at. Why am I single? I'm single because I don't know how to put myself out there anymore. I had I don't I don't know how to explain it. I had a time in my life where I was with somebody for a very long time. And it was early on. It was early on to where I never developed skills to talk to other people. Um, this was the only person I knew. Um, and in that time, growing as a person, and I really don't want to talk negatively about this person because we were both young and I feel as if we were both figuring it out. Um, I never developed the skills to talk to, I don't want to say a woman, but anybody, mainly a woman. So I dated this woman for a very, very long time. It was very rocky. It was off and on. Um, it just was not a situation that was going to work out. And when that ended, I found myself very depressed. I found myself not knowing how to go into the next chapter of my life. Mind you, this was somebody that I knew at the time for half of my life. Like, this was somebody to where it was like, you know, everything about me, the ins and outs, things that I would never talk about publicly. This was somebody who knew a lot. And that separation came with a lot of new challenges. Um, with those new challenges, when you're with somebody for a long time, it is very hard to create a life with another without thinking of like the life that you would have had with that said person. I ran into that a lot. I took after the separation, I took a year off, and I was said, and I'm gonna work on myself because there was things that I needed to work on to be a better me to the next person that I was gonna give myself to. A year turned into two. Um, and I realized there was a lot of things that I needed to work on. And as crazy as it sounds, if the situation ever presented itself for me to give myself back to that person, I 100% would, in hopes that they have taken the time that I took to realize that I was not the best person I could be for that person. A lot of things were good, but there was a lot of things that were bad. And the things that were bad were things that could easily be fixed. So here I am, 3.5 years after the separation, still kind of figuring out what I want to do with myself, my love life. Um, it's easier just to not have one. And why I say that is because when I was at my lowest, at the end of my relationship, I worked so hard on myself that I think I worked too hard on myself to where I created a situation in my head to where I didn't want to share what I had accomplished with anybody who wasn't on the same page as me. And that came down to I needed certain standards of a certain person that I don't want to say wasn't realistic, but a situation that some people, I don't want to say most, some people just aren't in. Um, I worked really hard to build a really great resume And it has shown in my work history, my current job. Um, Once you make a certain amount of money, things kind of change. People look at you a little differently. Um, it was so easy to find love when I didn't make as much money as I do now, when I wasn't too or in a position that I am now, because like you were talking to me for me. Now, a lot of the times, I get like, oh, you do this, you do that. Oh, that's cool. And that's fine, right? Until you tell me, oh, I want to do this and then that. What could you recommend for me to do this and that? I'm not saying that I'm not down to help anybody because I'm always down to help somebody. But when I feel as if you enter my life to pick my brain about knowledge of things that you want to do and you make it seem as if like you like me, that's where I have the issue. And that's been the issue. The last few women that I've talked to have been very interested in what I know as a higher up manager, what I did to get there, without a single thought of like what they can do to get there. And it's not hard. It's really not hard. Like my job is a job that 100% of anybody can do. It's not something crazy like a doctor or anything that has like physical work as far as like a firefighter or police officer. I work retail management, and asking the right type of questions and being willing to learn is something that I really wish, and maybe I'm wrong here, and I'm probably wrong here, that anybody can do. But not anybody's willing to do it. And that's the problem. The problem that I come across these days is what I can do for others. And it's not even an issue of what I can do for others because I like to do things for others. It is the lack of doing things for themselves and asking me to do whatever it is for them. I've always been a firm believer of like, live within your means. Yes, I make X amount of dollars, but do I spend X amount of dollars? No. Because of that, I have created the luxury of when I want it, I buy it. Do I need it? No, probably not. And I might talk myself out of it, even if I can buy it. But if it really came down to it, I had created the luxury of if I want it, I can buy it. Now, with making the money that I've made over the years, I have purchased a lot of things. And I was having this conversation with my mom. Um, you only want to buy what you can afford at that moment. But once you exceed the dollar amount of the thing that you want to buy, you no longer want to buy it. So you think about clothing. Okay, there's jackets, there's shirts you want to buy. Your limit on that is $200, and you spend that $200. But once that shirt jacket limit becomes $500 and the jacket's only $200, you kind of think that you really don't need that jacket like you thought that you needed it. You only want to buy the things that you can physically, literally, nearly afford. Why that's a thing, I don't know. I don't know. If I have $600 in my bank account and there's something that's $500, for some reason in my mind, I say, I can afford that and I'll buy it. And I have $100 left. But I have $3,000 in my bank account and I'm buying that same thing. For some reason, I say, no, I don't want that. Why? Because what I expect in my money to do for me has exceeded that $500 limit. Now I'm looking at things for $1,000. And with more money comes more importance of certain things. So you're buying shirts, pants, clothing, all these things, right? But then you step into a higher tax bracket and making more, and now you start looking at cars, right? Now you want a car that's 30,000, 20,000, all those things, right? And then you make a little bit more money. And then you start looking at homes and you're like, "Oh, I want a home that's 200,000, right?" And then you make double what you made last year, and now you're like, "I want a home that's 400,000." Like you only want to buy what you can literally barely buy. And then you hit a point in your life to where you can purchase whatever it is that you want, and you realize that you don't need any of those things. That's where I came to in my life right now. I am in a life to where I can purchase it if I want to. Doesn't mean I have this infinite amount of money in my bank account. I don't. I live a normal life just like you probably watching this and the next person who's probably going to watch this. I live a normal life. But I've done things in my life to put money aside, to purchase things early on, to where I don't have to buy those things. Um, a little example is I've had the same car for 11 years now. I bought the car brand new. It was the peak of what I could afford. I bought the car brand new. Out of the 11 years that I've had this car, I have had about 87,000 miles on this car. Brand new car, 87,000 miles. You know what I realized? I don't drive that much. I've always had a job that worked close. So why do I need a new car? Yes, I want a new car. I can afford a new car, but I don't need a new car. But at the time, when I was 19, when I bought the car, it was like, let me buy this car to show everybody that I made X amount of dollars, to show them that I'm doing something for my life. And then when I bought the car, it was a hooray for a week, and everybody forgot about it. Nobody cares about the things that you have unless you are a good person. I have realized with my life that I've done so much good for myself that it's very hard for me to date. Why? Because people expect me to do more for them than they can themselves. And I will never be that person. So until I meet somebody who is on par to what I'm doing, which once again is not anything that anybody can't do, until I find somebody who is on par, it makes around the same money, makes around the same, um, the same career path, maybe even the time, energy, match my energy. Until I meet somebody who is there, I don't see a point in dating. It's all pointless. There's so much that I've removed from my life over just not having the right partner. And settling for less is something that I just don't feel like I need to do. I settle for less. Now I'm creating a situation that I'm not happy in. I know what I want. And even if you don't agree with what I want, I know what I want. It's not what you want. It's not what you think that I deserve. These are certain things that I have set down and said, I want this, I want this, I want this. And you know what? I may never get those things. Out of the three things I want, I may never get them. But you know what I can say? That I will never settle for two out of those three or one out of those three and say, you know what? It's okay. So this is why I am 31 and single. I have not found who I want to share my life with who is on the same page as me. There's so many things that don't matter, but effort matters. And that's just where my mindset is at. I worked very hard for myself, and you can call it selfish, but I worked very hard to just give away the things that I worked. hard for. I was in a relationship for a very long time, and in this head, created my life, and this is how things were going to go. I had a lot of things taken from me off of actions that could have been prevented, things that I could have done differently, things that she could have done differently. But that doesn't mean that I have to settle for the next person who kind of makes me somewhat happy. I am willing to take it to the grave and know that I didn't settle for less. And that's gonna be something that sucks. Like, that's gonna suck. I don't want to have to deal with that. But like, I can't settle for less, and I refuse to settle for less. So if you live in Washington, you think I'm cute, hit me up. I'm joking. Um, but yeah, that's all I got. That's how I feel. Like, comment, subscribe. Today is what, January 6th, I want to say. No, January 6th. I'm saying February. It's February 6th. There was 31 days in January. We're on the 6th. So this is video 37. But then I posted a few bonus videos earlier, so it's probably the last time I'm going to tell you what video count this is because I don't truly know. Anyways, February 6th. Tomorrow is going to be the 7th. I'm going to post there. Tomorrow is going to be a great day because I'm going to be hanging out with my friends. Tomorrow will mark 1 month until I turn 32. The big 3-2. Not even anything that's exciting. Nobody cares about 32. It's literally 30 and that's it. Maybe 35 people will care about it, but 32 nobody cares about. So I'm turning 32 in 1 day, 1 month. 1 month tomorrow. So thank you for being here. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. If you are a certain age in your 30s and you're feeling single, it's okay. Do not settle for less. There is a plan for you. You'll meet somebody. You have years. You are in your prime. I feel good in my 30s. I will probably not worry about me not finding a significant other until I'm like 39. Then I'm gonna have a problem. But now, like, I just feel so good. I feel like in my prime. I feel like I'm wiser. I feel like I'm smarter. I feel like there's so many things that I have going for myself that I can put towards, and be for somebody else. That, like, being in your 30s, single, whatever. If you're broke, you're rich, who cares? Being in your 30s and single and not in a relationship is not a problem. Don't ever let anybody think that it's a problem. I grew up in a time to where people told me you need to make this amount of money, you need to be married, you need to have kids, you need to have all this by the time you're 30. Most of the people that I know don't make this type of money. Most of the people that I know have more than whatever kid was expected. And then the other is either married, divorced, and they're just not happy. So take your time, live the life that you want to live. And I'm realizing that I'm taking the time and I'm living the life that I want to live. You should too. I love you all. Thank you for being here. Like, comment, subscribe. As always, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.